Hi, welcome back to English 111 Online. I hope you enjoyed your spring break, and I do hope that you got your Core Project 3 essay finalized and turned in. I will be working on grading them this week. It might take me into next week. I'll do the best I can. I got a lot of them to grade. So this week, after you view the video, which you're doing, we're going to look at a new project, Core Project 2. I did them out of order for a reason. I thought it would be easier on you this way. If you went ahead, did your research, got your sources, wrote your research essay, and then came back after that and did Core Project 2, which is not an essay, but an entirely different animal, an annotated bibliography. So let's take a look at the assignment sheet. It is an annotated evaluative bibliography. So 4 sources that you will use or that you did use in Core Project 3. The Global Goals page was your first source that I led you to, and then of course you branched out from there and got other sources. What we're going to do, Core Project 3, you had to use 5 to 6 sources, and for this we're only going to pick 4 of those that you already found. So from your Works Cited page, you're going to pick 4 sources that you're going to put in your annotated bibliography. So you've already got them, and we're just going to embellish them. Annotated means putting notes on them. So for the Works Cited page on your Core Project 3, you only listed the sources. For the annotated bibliography, we're going to list the sources, and we're going to make some notations on them that shows it's a good source and that it was good for your paper that you used. You actually used the source in your paper. Your 4 sources, go ahead and make one of them the Global Goals page that you started with, because I'm going to give you an example of what that should look like and what it should have looked like in your Works Cited page for Core Project 3. And then we're going to, after that, under each entry, you're going to answer these questions. By what authority is this information published? How did you know it was a good source? By what authority? Was it a person that knew a lot about the subject that you were researching? Was it an organization? Excuse me, I don't know why y'all are right in the middle of the video. Sorry about that. But was it an organization like the United Nations that had the authority to publish that kind of information? And then you will briefly summarize the material in the source, 3 to 5 sentences, about what was the main point, what was the main idea. And so you will write a paragraph about that. And then after the summary, you will evaluate the source, 2 to 3 sentences for that. What makes it a good source? Remember when we looked at the sheets that I asked you to use as you were finding your sources? Well, if you actually took notes on those and did that, you can go back there. You may have to go back to the website itself and look for information that you want to put in this. But you do this annotation for the 4 sources. here's that SCARAB test that I introduced you to before, so you could go and pull information from that. In the assignment sheet is a sample of annotated works cited entry. Here's my goal 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls, published by UN.org. And there is the URL to get to that, and then the date of access. So this is what your entry would look like. And then this is what the annotation will look like. And it will cover 3 points. This web page is published by the United Nations official organization, which is an intergovernmental organization responsible for maintaining international peace and security, developing friendly relations among nations, achieving international cooperation, and being a center for harmonizing the actions of nations. And then Goal 5 page, which is the sample, of course, that I worked on and did for you, is dedicated to one of the 17 global goals for sustainable development, particularly Goal 5, and I quoted what Goal 5 says. It offers background information about the problem of gender inequality and some relevant facts pertaining to it, as well as specific targets to accomplish to help solve the problem. So that's what that page is all about. That's my summary of it. And then finally, this information was helpful to me in becoming acquainted with the problem and possible solutions in my research paper. So this is what you're going to do. This is what your annotation will look like for your 4 entries. Here is the rubric for grading this assignment. You're going to get 20 points for an introduction paragraph to the whole Core Project 2. And we're going to do that later. Right now, we're just going to choose our 4 sources and get them properly done. And then we'll go back and look at the introduction paragraph for this project that introduces your reader to what is going on with this project. 20 points for that. And then for each of the entries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 points for each of those. So you can earn 100 for this if you have all of your points for the introduction and format, and you have all of this information for each of your 4 sources here. So that would be 20 points apiece, 80, and then 20 points for your overall formatting. All right, so I'm gonna teach you how to do the formatting and all of that. Another thing I'd like for you to take a look at this week is this annotated bibliography slideshow. I'm not going to go through it with you now, but it is quite detailed for you to look at, and it tells you what to do and how to do it and why we're doing it. So that is something there for you to view. I have also given you this, the annotated bibliography for your first source. Same thing that I just showed you a while ago on the assignment sheet. Gave it to you twice so you can look at it. And this is what it will look like. This is what the formatting will look like. You've got your hanging indent, and then you've got a paragraph that starts right over here, lined up with your hanging indent, that tells, that gives by what authority, gives the summary, and then lets me know how you used that in your research paper. How was that source valuable to you in your research paper? Okay, so you have all of this information. What I'm asking you to do for this week is to pick your 4 sources from your Core Project 3 that you're going to use for this. And you want, in the journal, you will not be able to do the hanging indent because it doesn't allow you to do that. But again, here is my sample to show you. So I want you to list all 4 of the sources in this journal and put this information, this annotation under each one of your sources, and submit it, because that will be your grade for this week. I want to look at them and make sure that you've got your format right and you've got the necessary information you need in here. So that's what we'll be getting the grade on for this week. All right, so pretty easy. You've already got the research done, which was the hardest part. Now pick 4 of your sources and list them with your annotation in this bibliography. And just to remind you again, the annotation that you're going to put on there, first of all, addresses by what authority is this published. What is the organization? What is something about the organization that leads you to know that it is a good, reliable source? Second, you're going to give a brief summary of what the article was, what the page was about, and finally, you're going to give like a sentence or 2 about how this was useful in your Project 3, which you've already completed. So that's what we're doing this week. Next week, we're going to talk about the introduction paragraph that goes with this, and you'll be putting your annotated bibliography together to submit for a final grade next week. So that's what you're doing this week. If you have any questions as you're working on it, let me know, and I'll be glad to help you with it. And I'll see you next time.